Look, please drop your pen for a while and focus over this demonstration. Uh, this would be first segment of this particular chapter and this would be last segment. So let us start with this particular word, fiscal policy. We can expect that government of a given country, government of a given country has wider range of responsibility, wider range of responsibility, or you can also say wider range of accountability towards whom? Towards common population of that particular country. And which type of accountability or which type of responsibility we can think about? The responsibility to ensure proper economic growth of country, responsibility to ensure proper socio-economic development of country, responsibility to ensure defense or security of that particular country. All such type of responsibilities can be directly attached with whom? With government of that particular concerned country or society. Now, in order to justify or in order to satisfy all such aspirations of common population, aspirations of what? Aspirations of their own development, aspirations of economic growth of society, and other such type of aspirations. So, in order to fulfill or satisfy all such aspirations of common population, government government need to spend government need to spend a specific amount of financial resources. Financial resources means nothing but what? Money. So government need to spend specific amount of financial resources over different cause. Let's say कि government need to spend a specific amount in the name of education, in the name of health delivery, and so on. And since for all such obligations, government need to spend a specific financial resource, that's why government would also try to explore, government would also try to explore what? Source of these financial resources for it. Huh? How it would be possible for government to spend money without making any source of it? So for government, it is very, very essential or it is very, very important to frame a particular policy or to take a specific set of decisions in which government try to influence government try to influence source of financial resources. Now I am using this another word for this particular phrase. And what? Government shall try to influence its income. Are you satisfied? I can say the source of income, the source of financial resources, nothing but what? Income. Financial resources, money. So from where that particular income has to be generated, how much income have to be generated, all such decisions needs to be taken by government. So that particular set of decision in which government is trying to influence its own income as well as its own process of this what? Expenditure is known as fiscal policy of government. So fiscal policy refers to that policy under which government takes decisions, different set of decisions related to its own income or its own receipts as well as its different scope of expenditures. Have you ever heard that on this date government of India has announced its fiscal policy? Have you ever heard? When? On which date? Budgeting. Good point. So this fiscal policy is nothing but the subject of budget. But as a student of economics, we should divide ourselves directly from using this word budget, because budget is not a very formal concept. It is not a very formal name. Rather, the very formal name or concept is the notion of fiscal policy. So that's why we can initiate our discussion of this budget topic with which particular name? Fiscal policy. Now you may uh, try to think ki how we can make difference between these two words. One word is what? Fiscal policy, and second word is budget. In which manner we can make difference between these two words? First, let's. The very fiscal policy is a type of, it is a process. Fiscal policy is what? Process. Which type of process? Decision making process. And which type of decisions used to be taken in the name of fiscal policy? Decisions about income and expenditure. So fiscal policy is nothing but a decision making process. As far as budget is concerned, I can say that this budget is a type of document, or you can say fiscal document. In this particular fiscal document, all these decisions of fiscal policy used to be mentioned. So your copy can be considered as budget. And whatever you write in your copy in the name of your decisions, that process to frame those decisions, the process to frame those decisions and finalize those decisions would be treated as fiscal policy. Fine? So please initiate from here only. Fiscal policy refers to set of decisions of government, set of decisions of government set of decisions of government about its income and expenditure, 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 following objectives of fiscal policy, following objectives of fiscal policy. First, to ensure economic growth, to ensure economic growth, to ensure economic growth. Second, to ensure socio-economic development, to ensure socio-economic development. Maintenance of peace and security. Next one, maintenance of peace and security in country, maintenance of peace and security in country, maintenance of peace and security in country. So these are few important objectives of fiscal policy. From very next line, write down budget. Budget is that fiscal document. Budget is that fiscal document in which budget is that fiscal document in which different decisions of fiscal policy different decisions of fiscal policy used to be mentioned used to be mentioned used to be mentioned from very next line. budget of government is Budget of government is mentioned under budget of government is mentioned under Article 112 of Constitution. Article 112 of Constitution as annual financial statement as annual financial statement. So probably you all may know this fact ki the word budget is nowhere mentioned in our constitution. Instead of it, it is mentioned as annual financial statement. Look, I'm trying to again share few dynamics about this subject. This government budget is our core agenda of discussion. The word budget can be discussed or can be considered in context of an individual, in context of a family, in context of an organization, or in context of government. Fine. But our key agenda is to discuss the very budget document of whom? Government. Fine. Second dimension. Since we all know that in a democratic country, government is not supreme authority. Supreme authority is common population or people of that particular country. So whatever decisions which used to be taken by government under its fiscal policy, government shall feel requirement to approve all those decisions of fiscal policy by whom? Common population. And why? Why this particular requirement? Again, our answer is in order to consolidate the very essence of democracy. Fine. So in order to get approval of common population over different proposals of fiscal policy, it is regular practice of government to propose that particular set of proposals of fiscal policy at the floor of parliament in order to get approval of parliament. And you all may know that in India we have indirect form of democracy. So our approval, our discussion, our deliberation used to be performed by one of our representatives. Fine. So when government shall get approval over its proposal, and proposal of what? Which type of proposal? Which type of proposal under fiscal policy? Proposal about its expenditure and proposal about its income. So when government shall get approval over its different proposals of fiscal policy, we actually assume that government or common population of country have gave its approval over that particular proposal. That's why it is the each year's practice for government to introduce or to propose that particular proposal of fiscal policy at the floor of parliament. And if any subject shall have its relation with parliament, automatically that would be subject of your polity discussion. That's why you will read about this budget topic in your polity also, and we are discussing this same subject as the part of our economy discussion. But in your polity discourse, the very nature of your discussion and deliberation would be different. In polity, you will read about different political aspects of this government budget. And what would be those different political aspects? How that budget used to be proposed at the floor of parliament? What are different stages of budget passage from the parliament? Which different bills have their normal practice to be introduced under the very process of budget discussion? So you will read about all such type of political stuff in your polity topic. As far as our economic discussion is concerned, we will stuck ourselves only with so many economic facets of this subject that is known as government budget. Now, what would be that particular economic aspect which we have to discuss in this class? The very first aspect would be what is the very structure of this document that is known as budget. So this would be our first agenda of discussion. But before heading directly over that particular subject, I would like to introduce all of you only with two very basic political bills, or I can say two very basic bills which have their relation with this particular process of government budget. And these two bills are known as appropriation bill and finance bill. These two bills used to be present by government in each year's budget. Now, what are these two different bills? Please write down only one or two line statement. Appropriation bill. Please put heading appropriation bill. This bill used to be proposed. This bill used to be proposed at the floor of parliament in order to get approval of parliament, over different proposals on the front of government expenditure. Over different proposals on the front of what? Government expenditures. And which article talks about this particular appropriation bill? Article 114. And second one is finance bill. This bill used to be proposed by government to get approval of parliament on different proposals on the front of government's income. Different proposals on the front of government's income. And which article talks about finance bill? Article 117, 117. Now, how you can interpret or how you can apply the very knowledge of these two bills? Yes, I'm making question to you, yellow shirt. Let's say कि government had made a specific proposal in its budget to reduce the very rate of GST. Fine. So that proposal should be part of which bill? Whether appropriation bill or finance bill. Why finance bill? Huh? Finance से related. Is it the parameter? What is your view? बिल्कुल लास्ट में जो बैठी हो आप. Simple. GST is the subject of tax, and the very subject of tax is related with what? Government's income. So any type of proposal or decisions related to this particular GST or any tax would be part of which bill? Finance bill. Let's say कि for upcoming year, government made proposal to spend 3,000 crore rupees over Manrega scheme. Now that proposal would be part of which bill? Appropriation bill. Fine. So these are two basic bills of each year's budget practice of government.